What if Donald Trump is a complete scam? What if he is going to be one of the most evil presidents in American history? What proof do we have? How can we know that voting for him is better than voting for Hillary? I'm going to address it today. It's going to be tough. I hope you'll stick with me. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
My phone is ringing, the texts are coming in, the emails are coming in, and the debate has begun in earnest with principled, God-fearing, Jesus-loving Christian voters, whether they're evangelical or people of any religious stripe, about Donald Trump. I mentioned on yesterday's program that to not vote for Trump, some people would be saying, is in fact a vote for Hillary. I received a blistering email, very angry viewer. I'll read to you a couple of the comments. Go ahead and put it on the screen for me. Randall Terry is a lying, fear-mongering coward when he says to not vote for Trump is a vote for Clinton in a Trump-Clinton presidential race. The reality that Trump will most likely be the 2016 Republican presidential nominee will be proof that the American people are not ready to reverse the evil that has taken over the heart and mind of our country. Trump's campaign is based on a lie, that he is an anti-establishment candidate. Money doesn't lie, especially Trump's money. Money is king in Trump's world, and Trump's money has gone exclusively to Democrat and Republican establishment politicians and causes. All right, that last paragraph is true about Trump's money. 100% true. So, can a man who has given money to the establishment be an anti-establishment candidate? It's a good question. I think so. And I'll tell you why, bumper sticker, and then I'm going to go back and deal with me being a coward in the math of this. If I buy a candidate, I bought him. He's mine. But if I am the candidate and he tries to buy me, I'm not his if I don't sell. Are you hearing me? Donald Trump was in the position of buying influence. Yes, he gave money to Democrats. Yes, he gave money to Republicans. He has said so repeatedly. And he has also said almost as often that he knows how corrupt the system is because he played the game to get where he needed to be in business. All right? So he was not a candidate at that point. Let this sink in. He was buying. And once he began to run, if he was going to be an establishment candidate, what would he have done? He would have started selling. He would have sold himself. Give me money and you can buy me. And yes, I know the rules because I've played by them. You give me money and then later I give you access to me, or I give you influence, or maybe I help you get something that you want. So, what has Trump done? He has turned down money. He has not authorized or worked with any big super PAC. His gazillionaire friends who have come to him and come to his staff and said, hey, we'll start to spend money. He has said, no, 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 no. I've bought and sold politicians. I bought Hillary. She came to my daughter's wedding. She came to my wedding, whatever it was. All right? He's open about it. He's honest. Now, does that mean he's corrupt? That's a bigger question. He admitted. I mean, part of, the 12 steps, okay? Part of recovery, if you're an addict to political corruption, part of the recovery would be to admit that my political life has become unmanageable. He admitted that he has been involved in the corrupt system. And he has said, I bought and sold politicians but I'm not for sale and no one is buying me. And so, yes, that would make him an anti-establishment candidate, because the way the establishment gets control over a candidate is by purchasing them. Do you see it? Now, on the other one, about a vote, to not vote for Trump is to vote for Hillary, it's a mathematical equation. If it's 11 Trump and 10 Hillary, and someone says, I'm going to swap one vote, I'm going to go over here, then it becomes 10 to 10. If it's 10 to 10 and someone says, oh no, let's do it like this, ready? It's 11 to 10, Trump wins. Someone says, I'm not going to vote. It's 10-10, it's a tie. I'm just going to go home, I'm not going to vote. Now it's a deadlock. But then what if the person says, I'm not going to vote for Trump, but I'm going to vote for Hillary? Then it becomes 11 to 10 this way. You subtract 1, so now you're at 10, and then this one goes from 10 to 11, and Hillary wins. So in a weird way, it's almost like a half a vote. It's not a half a vote, but to not vote for Trump does, in effect, help Hillary. It's just that simple. If it's 11 to 10 and 2 people don't vote for Trump, they just say, I'm staying home. Then it goes from 11 to 10 to 9 to 10, and Hillary wins. So even though they didn't vote for Hillary, to not vote for Trump did in fact help Hillary. It's a simple math equation, which is, by the way, why political activists like myself and others who are probably watching this, they practice something called voter suppression. Voter suppression is that you run ads or you make calls, robocalls, robotic calls. You make calls or live calls where you have a poll, and it's called a push poll, where they feed a live caller will feed information to the voter that makes them so disgusted they just don't vote. So some of the ads, some of the phone calls, some of the literature is not designed to get you to vote for candidate A. It's just designed to get you to not vote for candidate B. And if they can suppress enough votes, if enough people stay home, then their candidate can win. So voter suppression is key, and in this contest between Hillary and Trump, because that's what it's going to be, barring some act of God or some horrible crime committed against a human being, it's going to be Hillary against Trump, unless Hillary gets indicted or something weird happens. Well, in that case, I am all in for Trump. I make no bones about it, okay? And when I come back, in fact, I'm going to read the question. Put the question on the screen. I'm going to read this question to you now, and then when I come back, I'm going to answer it line upon line, precept upon precept. Here it is. Can you explain to me how voting Trump does not contradict my core principles of pro-life, pro-gun, anti-tax, anti-cronyism, pro-religious liberty, pro-military, not pro-war, pro-civil rights, and pro-equality for all races and both genders? Make the sales pitch, but know that I need evidence, facts, and logic. Hillary being bad isn't enough. Convince me that Trump isn't bad too. When I come back, I commit myself to answering this question. Oh, it is very tricky. I'm professional. This is close track. Do not try this at home. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it, so that we can stay in touch with you, and yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. My wife and I have a friend who texted to my wife last night or the day before the text that I just put up on the screen. I'm going to read it to you again, and then I'm going to try and answer it thoughtfully. Can you explain to me how voting Trump does not contradict my core principles of pro-life, pro-gun, anti-tax, anti-cronyism, pro-religious liberty, pro-military, not pro-war, pro-civil rights, and pro-equality for all races and both genders? Make the sales pitch, but know that I need evidence, facts, and logic. Hillary being bad isn't enough. Convince me that Trump isn't bad too. All right. First of all, I think that this is a great question. And the reason I'm going to do this, taking time and being thoughtful, is because this particular person and other people like him mean it. The person in the last segment that wrote me that blistering email about me being whatever words he used, he means it, okay? He hates Trump. He hates Hillary, but he hates Trump. And this person doesn't like Trump. And there's a lot of people that don't like Trump because of Trump's past. So I am going to, hopefully using logic and in a little bit of a dispassionate way, answer what is a completely valid question. And I had to ask it from me, okay? So that you get this, I take this really personal. I have been arrested almost 50 times for peaceful protest on behalf of unborn babies. Unlike most people watching this show, and unlike most of my critics who are going to find fault with what I say, they have paid little or no price. They have paid little or no price for standing up for unborn babies, okay? So I'm making this personal. Don't tell me anything about me being a coward. Show me the scars on your back, all right? I'll show you mine. We'll talk about the death threats. We'll talk about times where I was almost raped or could have been raped in prison, all right? We'll talk about these things. I don't want to hear from you unless you have paid a price. So when I talk about take Trump over Clinton, you better believe it's thought-filled. And you better believe that I look at it through a grid and through a prism and through life experiences that are very different than most people. And you better believe I want to see Trump as president. So, can you explain to me how voting Trump does not contradict my core principles of pro-life, pro-gun, etc.? The first thing is, I have to step back and ask a question that underlies all of this. The underlying question of everything that this friend asked is, can we believe Trump now? Can we believe Trump now? It'll be easy for me to go through this and say, well, Trump has said he's pro-life. Trump has said he's pro-Second Amendment. Trump said he wants to rebuild the military. I don't understand. So this question is not about the platform that Trump is running on. This question is based upon a real record that Trump has left behind, saying that he supported partial birth abortion, saying that he wanted to get rid of assault weapons. He said these things, people, okay? I do this for a living. I know what he has said. So, given the fact that he has made statements in the past that are in complete contradiction to what he is standing for now, how can we vote for him and believe him? Because if you fell out of another planet and you just read Trump's positions, statements that he's made in his rallies, you would be easily able to vote for him based upon this. So this isn't really the question. The question is, how do we know he's not a liar? And the answer is conversion. 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 I'll be right back. Stay with me. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. Jehu, son of Nimshi, who rideth furiously. That's a person in the Bible answering the question about Donald Trump. How can I know that or vote for Trump and not contradict my core principles? And as I said in the last segment, if you look at the list that this person gave, almost every single one of them, Donald Trump is currently verbally on the right side of the issue. Somebody asked me yesterday, the day before, has God ever used a wicked person to do his will? And I thought, ooh, that's a great question. Well, first of all, and he also said, it was on the phone yesterday, it was a buddy from Philadelphia, and he said, and I don't mean judgment, like Nebuchadnezzar was a wicked king, and Nebuchadnezzar was used by God, the king of Babylon, to destroy Judah. I said, Cyrus was a pagan king, and he had the Jews go back. And then I thought, no, wait. There's Jehu, son of Nimshi, who was used by God to destroy the house of Ahab and Jezebel. Do you remember that? Read 2 Kings chapter 9 and 2 Kings chapter 10. It's very interesting. Elijah the prophet anointed several people before God took him up in the chariots. And one of the people that he anointed was Jehu. And Jehu was anointed by God to destroy the house of Ahab and Jezebel because of their sins. So Jehu came and assassinated, killed, at God's order, killed Ahab, killed Jezebel. Then he went on and he killed all the sons of Ahab. He obliterated the house of Ahab because God was sick and tired of Ahab and Jezebel killing the prophets and shedding innocent blood. And God brought all that blood on them. And then he gathered all of the priests of Baal into a temple and had them all killed. He killed all of the priests inside of a Baal temple and obliterated Baal worship from the northern 10 tribes. Wiped it out. And yet, if I can get to this quick, verse 28 of chapter 10, it says, thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Great. He's a great guy. Uh-oh. Howbeit, from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not from after them. To wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel and that were in Dan. And the Lord said to Jehu, because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in my eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab, according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of the Lord God of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. There's your answer on that question. God was really angry with Ahab and Jezebel. He was furious with Baal worship, and he anointed Elijah the prophet. And God, knowing all things, knowing the future, anointed Jehu, to wipe out the house of Ahab, to wipe out Baal worship. And yet Jehu, who knew that God had anointed him for this task, who knew the prophet Elijah himself anointed him, he still didn't depart from worshiping those golden calves in Bethel and in Dan. He walked with God. He did the will of God, but not totally. He didn't walk with the law of God totally. But yet God still used him. God still used him to accomplish great things in the northern tribes of Israel. So Donald Trump could be used by God to break the back of ISIS. Donald Trump could be used by God to save this republic from the influx of migrants, of illegal immigrants from the southern border. And I'm going to explain to you when I come back how stopping that might save the republic from the judgment of God. Just hear me out. I know that's going to sound crazy. Just hear me out. Don't go away. I'll be right back. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. I've been reading Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and one of the chapters made me so happy because he said, this is complicated. He said, this is not simple. That he was about to go into elements of Christian theology that simply aren't simple. And he said, look, if you just want this to be a simple answer, you've come to the wrong place. And I felt so happy because there are elements of Christianity that are really simple, and there are elements of it that require a lot of thought. Okay? The dual nature of Christ, the Blessed Trinity, the virgin birth, and on, the different councils of the church, the ecumenical councils in the first 1,000 years. So if you want this to be simple about Trump, I'm sorry. This is going to take me time, and I want to do it right. And I'm going to continue on this topic tomorrow. I'm going to put the question up again, but I made a promise to you before I went to the break that I would explain to you how stopping the influx of illegal immigrants from the southern border might save the republic. Now, you do know that Trump has said he's going to deport people. You probably also know that in the 1950s, Eisenhower deported, 130, 150,000 people, but another almost 2 million left for fear of being deported. We can't deport 11 million people. I've said that repeatedly. But somebody pointed out, and I've had to concede, you know what, that's true. If we do start rounding people up, other people are going to say, we take them back in a humane way. We take them home. Other people are going to say, I don't want to be on that train. I don't want to be on that bus. I don't want to be handcuffed. I'll go. And a lot of people are going to leave. And then they can come back legally. All right, hear me out. I got to make this quick, and then I'll continue here tomorrow. Child killing, the blood of the innocent, is going to result in the judgment of God coming on this country. It's going to happen. In Israel's ancient history, you had the northern 10 tribes, and then you had Judah and Manasseh, the southern tribes. The northern 10 tribes came under the judgment of God and were obliterated. Never heard from again. The southern tribes were judged, went to Babylon, but came back and were restored. And that's where Jesus came. When he came, it was the southern tribes that were judged, but then restored. So the question is, will we have judgment unto annihilation or judgment unto restoration? That depends in part on what we do with child killing. If we end it, and if all of these illegal immigrants continue to come in and a Democrat takes the White House like Hillary, those illegal immigrants are going to become Democrats. The Democrats will therefore control the White House for as long as we live, and they will decide who gets to be on the Supreme Court, which will continue the slaughter of the innocent under Roe versus Wade. And if the slaughter of the innocent continues, America will not survive. Trump, just on the southern border, might save the republic from the judgment of God.